شعبان, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at his creation على الخلق فيغفر لجميع خلقه, and he forgives all of his creation with the exception of two, إلا مشرك أو مشاحن, except for somebody who has shirk in his heart, polytheism, any kind of shirk, أو مشاحن من الشحناء, which is carrying any hatred or being in trouble with anybody around him. What should we do based on this hadith is that we should try our best to purify our heart. Nobody is immune against shirk. وَمِنَ الشِّرْكِ الْخَفِيِّ, parts of shirk is hidden. You can practice or you can have without knowing, like showing off. You do something good like prayer or hajj, but you have something in your heart that is not 100% purely for the sake of Allah. This is kind of shirk. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want to see anything like that in the heart of his slave. So this is something that shouldn't take much of our time, even though it's important. We need to just sit with ourselves. We need to pay attention to look deep into our heart. What's in there? Is it the pure religion and faith of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? We check, and we try in this very night to take anything off of our heart that's not the true faith. That's not right. This is one part. The other part, al-mushahin. If you are in trouble with anybody, any shahna, anything against anybody, this is a time that you need to let go. Because if those two things, one of those two things is there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, He's not going to look at into the record of that person. He would say, delay those two, put them aside until they become, they get back again as they are supposed to. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to fast in Sha'ban, most of it, and he said, I love to fast in this month because شهر تعرض فيه الأعمال على رب العالمين. This is the month that the actions of the people are being submitted to the Lord of the worlds, and I would love for my actions to be submitted to Him while I'm fasting. So it is submitted, and in this hadith it's submitted specifically in the midnight, the night of mid-Sha'ban, which is tonight. As far as the actions, there is a tendency, shaitan tries to get the person in any way. He will get Ahlul Isyan, the people of disobedience, by, why don't you do that? Why can't you think of that? Why don't you eat this, or do that, or hang out with those? But he's not going to do the same with the people of Iman. If he comes to a believer and say, why don't you drink? Why don't you have this relationship? It's not going to work with a believer. What he uses with believers is, why don't you worship Allah this way? It's good. It's good to add a little bit more here and do it this way, and more prayer or more fasting or celebration of certain things sounds and looks really good. But is that the way that Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the role model, the standard, did? No, he didn't do that. لكن استحب بعض الفقهاء منهم الأوزاعي إمام أهل الشام, they recommended if somebody has to do anything special in this night, they do it by themselves. And they shouldn't do it continuously. You know that Allah is looking at you right now. You may want to give sadaqah this year, but don't do it every year. Khalas, every year I'm going to give $100 or $1,000. That becomes like systematic. Do sadaqah, qiyamul layl. Maybe the next year you do something different. But the most important thing, if you have to do something, is look deep into your heart. Make sure it's free from shirk, any kind of shirk. And look what is between you and people. If it's wrong, if there's anything wrong, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam called it al-haliqa. فَإِنَّ فَسَادَ ذَاتِ الْبَيْنِ هِيَ الْحَالِقَةِ. I am saying that the having bad relationship with each other, it's like a scissor, which is like something to cut. Cut what? قال لا أقول تحلق الشعر ولكن تحلق الدين. This very thing, if it's there, relationship between people is cut, it's gonna work like cutter. Cutter for what? He said, I don't say cutter for the hair, but cutter for the deen. If somebody is in trouble with the ibadullah tabarak wa ta'ala, lie, cheat, ghaiba, namima, this and that, his heart will be busy with all of that. But if you are straight with everybody else, and it takes some effort. It takes some effort to forgive. It takes a lot of effort to forgive, especially those who did you wrong. It's not easy. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is our example. We need to look at him. He forgave the people of Mecca. What did the people of Mecca do to him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Every kind of thing. What you can imagine. They killed some of his family members, relatives, companions, got him out of his house, said anything that could be said against him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, waged no more than one war against him. The same people, you can see them. Abu Sufyan is there. He was the leader of the army against him at one time. He can see them. Yet, when he came to Mecca sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what did he do? Nothing. اذهبوا فأنتم الطلقاء. All of you are free. Go, all of you are free. He forgave them sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Let's not fail to forgive one another. وأنا أول الذين يعني يسألون إخوانهم أن يغفرون أو يسامحون. I'm the first to ask his brothers if I said anything that hurts anybody, because I'm probably the person who speaks most in here. Khutbah, this and that. Oh, Sheikh Amr means me. He's talking about me. Or I ask forgiveness from everybody. Wallahi, I love all the believers for the sake of Allah. And please forgive me if I have done anything wrong or said anything that doesn't sit well with anybody. Allah Azza wa Jalla knows about the intentions. May Allah Azza wa Jalla forgive us all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify our heart from shirk or nifaq or anything that does not please Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah set all the relationship between Muslims straight. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this very night, as He looks at His people, take off and lift off all the dhulm, the oppression that's happening against Muslims. Take off anything that's wrong in between Muslims and get all of them together, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma ameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fasting 13. Fasting on the 13th, 14th, 15th of every month is recommended, including the month of Sha'ban. فيستحب الصيام.
15th is not recommended.
Recommend?
But it's said.
Fine, it's one of the 3 days. That's fine. مفيش مشكلة إن شاء الله.